Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Friends from Work. I'm Tom, this is Sean, and on today's episode, we are going to be discussing Netflix and has it been falling off these past couple of years. But before we get into this discussion, do us a favor, leave a like right now, subscribe down below, follow us on TikTok and Instagram, links are on the screen and down below. And other than that, we're going to get right into it. This is a little different episode. Usually we do like tier list stuff like that or reviews a lot. But I wanted to give you guys a discussion because this is a podcast. I want to make sure we have a lot of topics, a lot of ideas and stuff for you guys to agree or disagree on with. And how should we start this off?
Well, like you said, I definitely think it has fallen off. I don't know why. Maybe it's a money thing. I do think HBO Max didn't help. Disney Plus came out.
Yeah.
What was that, 2020 or something like
Yeah,
that?
I say that's when they hit their stride, was like 2020.
And then right when that happened, like HBO Max and Disney Max came out, and then like they lost The Office or something. Didn't Peacock buy The Office from them? And they were making it a big story about it too.
Yeah, like 2020, 2021 is like the big streaming wars, you'd call it. Like during that time, it's during COVID era. Everyone's getting a platform.
And it just seemed like everybody else bounced back. And I just don't think Netflix really has. I mean, they every once in a while they have a hit, but I think their plan was like quantity over quality.
Yeah.
And they're just flooding us with like trash.
Yeah.
Like, just really not good stuff. And they used to have the best originals.
Yes. Some of their best originals, in my opinion. I do have a bunch of stats here that I will read off in a bit. But like the quality shows off the top of my head, Ozark, Orange is the New Black. I never watched House of Cards, but House of Cards was like the talk of the fucking town.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I did eventually see it. It wasn't my favorite, but that was like the one
so
that, like,
fucking
made
huge.
Them like Netflix like, all right, we're gonna do a bunch of originals now.
And then Black Summer.
Oh yeah, that was good.
Black Summer. Narcos was huge. Peaky Blinders, you're a big fan of that.
That's on BBC though.
But it's a Netflix for here. I threw it in there because it's counted as a Netflix original. You season 1 specifically. I'm not mentioning any other seasons because the only reason I did seasons is because when I looked up all the stats, they were breaking it down by seasons, not the show overall. Yeah. So I'm playing fair to Netflix's game. 13 Reasons Why, the first season.
Even the second season was pretty big too, wasn't it?
Yeah. I just meant like quality wise.
Yeah.
Because
the first season I didn't really like it. I'm like more in protest of it. I thought it was okay. I just don't like the glorification of kids killing.
No, I agree. This story was really intriguing. That's why I really liked it. It should have been, yeah. But similar to Sean's point, that was my biggest qualm, but biggest issue with Netflix is their quantity has like gone up a lot. Obviously, they're just bringing in cash, and their quality has like gone down. I wanted to like compare and contrast with like. Hulu's a good example. Obviously brought up Disney Plus and HBO Max. They're on a stride right now. But one thing we don't mention about Hulu is they've never had an up and down. They've always stayed consistent. They may have some bad shows, but every year we always hear about a show or two from them or a few movies that were hits, like really quality stuff. Critics loved it. Audiences loved it.
Apple
Stuff
TV's
like
the same way.
Apple TV is the exact same way. I just bought a subscription and I did the trial and then I just bought a subscription. Sean's been hearing me every day talk about the morning show. Definitely,
but they just have like a few like really good shows and they just do those. Like you were set to interrupt. Like Netflix is just like just bullshit. Like it's just they do a lot of like foreign stuff that's like in different languages. Sometimes it's good. There's a few shows I like that were in a different language. But I think one of their big problems is they have too much time in between their seasons and their movies too.
Yeah,
I think they had a lot of good movies that they really fumbled the bag by just like Bright. I think Bright was an okay movie, but it was a cool concept, and they had some momentum. They should have made another one within like 2 or 3 years. I think they really could have had a nice little trilogy.
Yeah,
Old Guard. I think like
they're still taking.
It's faded.
Extraction is just now.
It's faded. Like the hype is faded. Nobody like, especially these Netflix movies, like shoot 2 at the same time. Like.
Put it in the contract. Marvel does it all the time. You have a 4-movie deal.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they did, but they're just taking their sweet ass time to shoot and release it. They should like Extraction. Like you should be shooting these like back to back or something like that, or even
take
at the
same summer
time.
off, go back in the fall, whatever they do.
But now there's like so much time in between. You forget about them, and then there's like a glorification of it where it's like it's been so long. You're like it has to be good, and people like are disappointed because it's been so long. And I think a little bit that's the same thing they do with their shows as well. It's just too much time in between. Like, it's not like like Game of Thrones where it's like next year it's on. Like it's like 2 years or what. Like
they don't follow the traditional TV scheduling.
Yes, and it hurts them. I think. Because Ozarks from 3 to 4 was 2 years.
Yeah. I think we talked about this. I forgot. Well, I don't know what. Maybe it was an episode we haven't put out yet, but I know we definitely talked about it here. The reason was for COVID stuff, but I will agree in general. I'm not going to give the exceptions the benefit. There was a couple times there was exceptions.
Yeah, it was COVID, yeah.
But generally, prior to that, they were doing that a lot. Even right now, they're still doing that a lot.
Altered Carbon, that was before COVID. Yeah. They had a really good first season, then they waited like 3 years to get season 2 to come out, and it sucked. Like,
speaking about like quality and quantity, or their shows, I want to discuss the shows a bit. I do have some stats here. But I'll save that. I keep mentioning them. But I'm very
proud of his stats.
I really look at it's color coded and shit. Like, it's just God, it's amazing. But yeah, speaking about their shows, recently, whatever ones they have massive success on, either social media speaking, obviously numbers speaking, and then what else? Social media. They don't really care about ratings for the most part, but social media, like people talking, and then obviously numbers matter. Because they haven't dropped anything original in a while, like nothing new that's really refreshing. They've dropped some limited series that have been pretty good, but if they want to do longevity, the only thing they keep pushing right now is, I actually wrote it down. I want to get that they're going to end soon here. I call them their money makers. Their pride and joys, their babies. Umbrella Academy, that's leaving. This is their last season. Ozarks ended. I mean, it's ended, but that was one of their babies. Stranger Things, they are finally ending that. This is the final season, but they're gonna do like 4 fucking parts for that, so they're gonna milk it again. Peaky Blinders has ended. That was another big. Yeah, it's over. You season 5. That's coming out next year. But I said these are. I was looking up Outer Banks as well. We were gonna do an episode on that, by the way, guys. I got through the first episode and I was like, I can't do it. It was the worst show ever.
It has faded. I think that's another problem with this. It's like they milk go too long, and then it just they're just like living off this first season, and they don't think of a cool new original idea, and it's like, ugh.
Because they do like these social media moments, like, it's good enough, so then we can get another season.
Yeah, exactly. It's got a good trailer, and we're in France or wherever. You know what I mean? Hot kids, and they're freaking
and we're in love.
Yeah, like fucking button up shirts with the buttons not done and
wavy hair.
And like I said, the first season was interesting. I mean, I thought I would have hated it, but I liked it. I did like the first season of Outer Banks. The second season was whack.
Yeah. This third season got awful.
Yeah, and I did it. I stopped watching because Tom said he wasn't going to. But I watched like 3. It was okay, but no.
I couldn't do it. I felt like I was so annoyed, mad watching it. Just how bad it was. But yeah, back to the point is, they're losing all of their shows. They've like sucked the teat off of like what they haven't set up anything, and maybe they haven't announced anything. Yeah, Witcher is just a done deal. It was already hard to watch the first season in the sense of introducing like just selling. It was a good show overall. First season was really good, but if you're selling a show, your first season needs to catch you in the moment. Sean and I had to both sit through it, be like, okay, what's gonna happen? Yeah, it was a very slow start.
It was a very. I remember having to fast forward or rewind a lot of that.
Yeah,
like, what the hell is?
It was a shaky first season, but like you had to understand it. But I think that is pretty critical for any show of any channel or anything. Is like you have to have a really, especially the pilot. The pilot has to be really captivating, and then it has to hook you in the first season overall. But I do want to go through these stats just to get them out the way. They showed me 15. But I just want to do the 10 because 10 is really what matters. You always go by 5 or 10s. At number 10, which I was pretty happy with this because this is a really good show.
These are just shows.
We're just doing shows right now. I didn't go. I did have movies on here, but I'm just doing the shows just for the discussion. Yeah. It was All of Us Are Dead, as that Korean show, but all the high schoolers zombie apocalypse type thing. For its first season, it got 560.78 million watch hours, released in 2022. The critic score gave it an 87%. Audience was 79. Stranger Things, hold on. Excuse me. Stranger Things season 3 was 582.1 million watch hours. It was released on 4th of July of 2019. 89% critic, 86% for audience. Money Heist Season 4. That was a quality show. I heard some pretty good things about that.
I never got into it. I always hear good things, so I tried to watch it. It's okay. I wouldn't say it's bad. I just never got the whole, like, it's so really good. Like,
I never watched it, but I always heard it. All right. But yeah, 619.01 million watch hours, released in 2020. 80% critic score, 77% audience. Bridgerton, Season 1, got 625.49 million watch hours, released in Christmas of 2020. 87% critics. Jesus Christ. 71% audience. And then Bridgerton Season 2, 656.26 million watch hours, released in 2022 of May. 78% critic and 77% audience. And then, Money Heist again. For 700 Season 5 for 792.23. I'm pretty sure this is the last season, so I'm pretty sure it's a big part of it. Why?
Sure Season 5 is the last one.
And then it was released in September of 2021. Critics gave it a 90%. Audience gave it a 68%. And then at number 4 we had Dahmer, Evan Peters, Dahmer.
Are these like recent?
This is all time.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Dahmer at number 4, 856.2 million watch hours. It was released in September of 2022. Critics gave it a 57% score, which is shocking, but I'm pretty sure it's more just political reasons.
Yeah,
and then
being woke.
Yeah, and then 83% audience, which makes more sense. That was a really good show. And then Wednesday got 1.2 billion watch hours, and I was released November of 2022. 71% critics, 86% audience. Stranger Things again. Season 4 that was the most recent season, got 1.35 billion watch hours, May of 2022. That's when it came out. 88% critics, 88% audience. So we all agreed. I don't agree with that high of a rating. It was a pretty rough season. Squid Game is the number 1 at 1.65 billion watch hours, released in September of 21. 95% critic score rating, and then 84% audience. This is all from Rotten Tomatoes, by the way, regarding the percentages. I assume you knew that, but I want to clarify that. But yeah, the reason I wanted to give you all these stats is there's a similarity. Like, yes, numbers wise, it'd be stupid to try to make an argument that they're falling off. Like, clearly, given the stats and given the dates, they're doing well. But like I said earlier, it's because they choose the shows they want to promote, which is everything. But like, even if it's a pretty mid, like Season 4 of Stranger Things was pretty boring for the most part. Some pretty cool high points, but it was pretty bland for me. Again, Money Heist, I don't want to give it. I can't really argue with that in the sense of like I never watched, so I can't give too much of an opinion. Yeah, I know it's popular. So, Squid Game was a one and done thing, but they are doing a Season 2. And again, this actually I didn't think about writing this down. The way that show ended, it does not need a Season 2, but obviously Netflix saw the numbers, and we said earlier in this episode, they're going to milk it. Like, this is a water into repeat thing Netflix does, and I think it's really detrimental to it. And while their numbers may do great, and obviously as the years go on, streaming keeps getting bigger and bigger, so bigger numbers, so on and so forth, but it's gonna hurt you in the long run when people are like, all right, well, clearly we're on Season 7 of Stranger Things after we took a 5-year break, and now we're gonna do another one just because it's a good show and people are gonna watch it just because maybe it's now Mike and Seven have a kid or some bullshit. Exactly and and it's gonna it's just not a good thing. I think what they need to do is just kind of go back. Their balance is really off. Yeah. It's like they used to have I'm not gonna say like the show's been trash from day one. They've had great starts and really bad endings. Like they've started off phenomenally and then crashed down, but they always had a balance. It always felt like you have this bullshit cash grab here and then Orange is the New Black. You know what I mean?
I really liked Orange is the New Black.
It was good. The last season again.
It was kind of whack, but all the way up until that, it was good. Like.
But yeah, and then like again, they had a balance, and that's an important thing. Like People are gonna watch pointless cash grabs. We all do. It's fun. It's easy to put something on. That's the whole point of Netflix.
But and they lost some of their those shows that people watch and like fall asleep to, like Office and stuff like that. So they really have to up their game. I honestly think they should kind of switch focus and do what they did with Lucifer and try to find some old shows that got canceled that people love to bring those back.
Walking
Dead. Get in
the
business of doing that. They just had to. They just get Rick and Carl. They just do a show like
they're alive. They're just kidding.
Carl never died.
He's been hiding.
That's why Rick didn't come back. He was with Carl.
They left.
But I think that's a better idea. Because I don't know if it's unimagination or they just don't care. They're like, just
I think it's a big ego thing for them. I think they don't care.
Because every once in a while they get a little Squid Games thing, but they can kind of manipulate that thing. Like, Squid Games was a phenomenon and it went viral, but they didn't build upon it. Like, you had a nice little summer.
And now with 21, it's 23, and they just said they have a second season coming.
And but again, that goes back to what we're talking about. They never build on the momentum again. It's like. It's going to be, 4 years for the other Squid Game comes out, and it's like nobody's going to care.
I don't even care. Because the first season was written as a limited series, and that's how it was promoted. Yeah. And now they're going to expand on it. Like, why? Like, there's no point. And
why don't they just do a different, a spin-off? Like, not even you know what I mean? Like, something like that. Like,
they're actually doing a Squid Game live. I'm pretty sure it's already out or it's coming out.
The Physical 100 or whatever.
No, not Physical 100, but an actual they call it Squid Game, the actual show.
Oh, wow.
But
didn't Mr. Beast do one?
Yeah, he did that. That was cool.
Yeah.
Look he did a whole thing before Netflix dropped their version of it and their season 2. And Mr. Beast has a team. Yeah, honestly, they do. Even though Mr. Beast has a team, but Netflix.
Mr. Beast can hire us.
Yes, cut the check, Jimmy. Give us $20,000 just for the fuck of it. I need a new laptop. We had to wait 10 minutes for it to update for this episode. But let me get to my points over here because I don't want to trail off and repeat anything. They're not gonna. They have nothing to fall back on. Like I was talking about earlier, with all the shows that are leaving, these are some pretty big shows. I mean, some of them have already gone. Like they're done, and those were big shows. And in my head, they haven't set up anything. They do some limited series, but again. Limited series are not fucking long term. You do it, and they're cool for that month, and that's just how shows are. It's cool for a month, but it comes back.
Documentaries.
And it's all limited, and it's not gonna. It may be good for you, but in the long term, I personally think it's just gonna. You're gonna keep losing subscribers or subscriptions, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, they're definitely taking a hit, and it's going up. I'm just a diehard fan, and there's just a few things on there that I watch that's on there, but I always just am keeping hope that they do see some the originals do get better, but even the ones that I like, the season 2 always sucks. Like Warrior Nun was whack. Season 2 was whack. Season 1 was pretty good. I don't know what they're doing. They're just, I think it's just all money. They're just throwing together some shit and really not putting any heart and soul into it. I feel like Orange is the New Black and stuff like that really just was very artistic, and it seems like people were really paying attention. Yeah, they were going into detail, making it seem extra realistic, and now it just feels like they just throw this shit together, and they just do 100 shows, and they're like, all right, if 2 of them are as popular as Squid Games, we're good.
Yeah,
and they just live with that.
Yeah, it is a real shame. Excuse me. I do hope to see Netflix do some other things regarding shows, but I do want to change our focus a bit to movies, because we'll do an overall point at the end, but obviously we have to do our fair share because movies is a big important thing. And again, it's the same thing. Actually, it's actually worse for movies right now if you've noticed. Their movies have not, that I can recall,
even the ones you think are gonna hit,
they've been at most mid. At most, I have not recalling to reviews we've done here regarding our Netflix movies, and then anything I've watched off camera or off pod or non-review, whatever you want to call it. Again, it felt mid, and I'm thinking the last 2 movies that they just dropped, and I was one pushing for one. It was Your Place or Mine. I still have yet to watch it, which shows I'm not really interested. And then also we have a Ghost with Anthony Mackie, David Harbour is the Ghost, stuff like that. It looks like a pretty mid movie to me.
You People was.
A
little bit better than mid, but
Again, like we gave it a better rating, but it's still it was like a upper class mid. You know what I mean?
And that was like an all-star cast.
Yeah.
Like you're most.
You're not gonna fuck
movies,
up a rom-com with that.
Yeah, most of your Netflix movies aren't gonna have two comedy goats, Laura London and Jonah Hill. Like, and like I said, even with David Duchovny in the background.
Yeah.
Like, so I don't know. They need to go back to the formula, like where they get like one famous person, Charlize Theron, and then you surround her with a bunch of up and comers and do that. It's like, but it's just too late. Like they wait too long with the movies too. The shows they kind of get back a little bit faster, but not fast enough. They do they'll do like a year and a half, 2 years,
especially with their money makers.
Yeah, like it's got to be a year. You got to get your shit back out in a year. Like people don't want to wait 3 years to see your stupid show
because you die off.
And then the movies for Netflix, it's like 3 years later that shit comes out.
Maybe
like Old Guard, and we haven't seen anything. Like I said,
they haven't said anything.
Yeah, they haven't said Bright. They said they were making a Bright.
I was at high school when that came out.
Bright?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they said they were making a Bright 2 right after, and they never did.
No.
And just there's a couple others just like that where it's like, what the hell? Like they did good, and I think the only thing that did save them, like I said earlier, was like redoing Lucifer, finishing that. And Manifest, people wanted to. They finished that. I believe.
I heard about that. Yeah.
And I really think they should kind of switch focus and try and do that. Bring Firefly back or some shit. I don't know.
Something. It just their quality's gone down, and I'll read the stats here, and again, this is not too surprising with all the stuff they've been doing, because I will say recently they've like thrown every fucking movie out, but again, it's all been mid. At number 10, they had Irishman with 214.6 million watch hours, 2019, 95% critic rating, 86% score or audience. The Unforgivable, that was with Sandra Bullock. It was like her hunting down the person that killed her daughter or some shit like that. I forgot. It was 214.7 million watch hours, released in 21, 38% critic rating, 75% audience. Purple Hearts, that was I'd never heard about that movie, but it's basically about a soldier coming back to his girl, and then his girl is trying to help him become a sinner.
Sounds like some shit. Now when I go to bed at night, my wife's watching.
Just ask her if she's seen it.
I bet she's. I would bet money my wife.
Text her. I'll keep reading these stats. Yeah. Have you seen Purple Hearts on Netflix? 228.7 million watch hours, released in 22. 35% critics rating, 69% audience. Extraction at number 7 with 231.3 million watch hours, released in 2020. At 67% critics, 70% audience. Adam Project, 233.2 million watch hours, released in 22. 67% critics, 73% audience. The Gray Man, 253.8 million watch hours, released in 22. 46% critics, 90% audience. That's a pretty big gap. Glass Onion, 279.7 million watch hours, 22. 92% critic rating, audience is 92 as well. Bird Box, 282 million watch hours, released in 2018. 64% critics, 57% audience. That's fair. Don't Look Up was 359.8 million watch hours, 21. 56% critics, 78% audience. Red Notice was their number 1 with 364 million watch hours, had 36% critics and 92% audience.
Wow, really? That's the only one I haven't seen.
Yeah. I agree with the critics.
Ryan Reynolds and The Rock, right?
Yeah. Exactly, yeah.
I knew what it was going to be, like The Rock being all serious, like, I'm The Rock, and Ryan Reynolds be like, oh, making a bunch of big guys. Yeah. Look at old big guy. Like,
yeah.
I can imagine Ryan Reynolds as big guy like 10 times in that movie. Something like that. Calls him fucking Sasquatch or something.
Yeah, some shit, yeah. But yeah, again, if we look at the numbers here, like,
what's I doing too bad? But that's
no, the percentages, and I want to talk about that. We were talking about mid. Majority of these movies are mid at most. Even Extraction, it's not. But
they just get hyped up good. They promote the hell out of those, and they put them number 1 on the page. Everyone ends up watching them. Like,
I cannot believe Red Notice is fucking number 1.
Red Notice, that looked like a flop. But Extraction, I thought was okay, a little bit better than average. Don't Look Up was too long.
Too long. It would have been so much better if it was like an hour shorter. But it goes back into the point you always talk about. Movies need to be shorter nowadays.
Yeah, we're definitely going to have a discussion about that soon. Too. Yeah. Like, some of these movies too long. I'm guessing your streaming service is okay because it's like I can pause it. I'll come back and watch it later, but still.
I think it makes it worse, too.
Yeah, it still makes it worse. Yeah, if you go.
At least in the theater, you just have to fucking sit there.
Yeah, deal with it.
But yeah, no, with a lot of these movies, like, I'm okay with Irishman. That movie's way too fucking long. I loved it. But I'm never watching it ever again. I don't know why
they didn't make it just a limited series and make it in like 5 episodes or whatever.
That's what I thought about too. I was like, you could cut that out.
It was 5 hours, right?
3.5.
Yeah.
Director's cut was like 6.
Yeah,
I never watched that.
Yeah, but like you could have just made it into like a mini series.
Yeah, they do limited series.
Yeah, 3 or 4 episodes and like. Did it come out in theaters too or something? That's why.
No, I think it was just Netflix.
Yeah, I don't know why the fuck they just did that.
Yeah,
that's silly.
But yeah, no. Unforgettable. But like. A lot of these movies, you could tell why they popped off. Again, Red Notice makes sense. It was Gal Gadot, Rock, and they pushed the shit out of that, like you said. Don't Look Up, same thing. Star-studded cast, mid-plot. Bird Box.
Bird Box is one where, like, that was one of their good ones.
Yeah.
Even though it had, like, a mid-of-the-pack audience score. But, like, most of the people are average. It was a popcorn movie where, like, everyone, like, people, it was a phenomenon. Weird. Like, I didn't want to watch it, and I ended up watching it because everyone had seen it, and it was like, and all the memes, like everything.
Yeah, it was a big meme. Glass Onion. I'll say it's an original. Okay. Yeah, it was original.
Glass Onion, that's probably one of the better ones. I wouldn't mind.
Adam Project, fuck off.
I was okay. I didn't mind Adam Project.
It's just the reason I don't like it is because it's just they're not giving a variety. I should have written that down too, but I can say it right now. Is I'm not getting much of a variety now. With like they're just dropping all these crazy cool action movies. I want like I don't want to have a fucking cheeseburger every day for the rest of my life. I want to kind of mix it up.
Like,
even though I have the same
meal
like
artsy
day.
Stuff anymore.
Yeah,
that's
I just want
to. Yeah, too. There's nothing with like any.
Like Irishman, like I love. Like I said, I loved it. I'll never watch it again just because it's so long. Marriage Story is one of my favorite Netflix movies. So good. Adam Driver killed it. I want to watch it again. But again, it's a longer movie. But that's just how artsy movies are. Just how it is. I don't like it. It doesn't need to be that for every single one. It could be 2.5 hours at most, but 3.5 hours is ridiculous. Calm down, Scorsese. Fucking ego check your shit. But yeah. But with a lot of these movies, I want to see a variety. Like they're doing like hella action shit right now, and then or like some bullshit comedy. Like it's not bullshit, but mid-tier comedy. Because there's some comedies that are like, oh, that's pretty decent. But like again, it's mid-tier comedy or action. All right,
I'm tired of them doing like clear trilogies or sequels and then just dragging them the fuck along. Yeah. Like it's like, bro, just make this. You're on the streaming, so like just make the fucking other movie. Like y'all don't gotta promote it. You don't gotta make no damn trailer. Just pop up one day. It's on there. Like
the whole point of a streaming service nowadays and the culture of everything is moves fast. Like since social media came up into the game, it's everything's rapid now. And you, like Sean said earlier, it's killing your show. It's killing your movie. It's killing whatever you're trying to make. It's because everything's so rapid right now. Look at we brought up HBO Max earlier episode. I would say HBO Max right now is in the lead at this current moment, especially with The Last of Us. And they're gonna do Fallout. Sean told me, and at HBO, if HBO's doing that, and since they haven't screwed up Last of Us. Like you'll see an episode House here very soon.
They're doing another
spinoff. The House of the Dragon. Like they're doing it right. Like they.
And they got the rights back to all the to all the shit that was theirs, all the old TV show Friends and all that stuff. It's back to them, so it's like that's also hurting Netflix. I think Netflix had the game in a chokehold for so long,
and they just were playing ego
like
check.
Living off of that right now. Or like they kind of still do. They still, but like. People are catching them, and the show, like I said, Disney is must have. Their shows, all their originals are pretty fucking fire. You got to have it, and then like when all the Marvel movies come out, they're on there. So it's like you have to have Disney. If you got kids, you got to have it.
Yep.
And then HBO Max is getting to that same point too, where like movies are getting released early on there, and their catalog of shit is fire.
Yeah.
Like, and their originals are amazing. HBO's always had.
Great shows in general.
But some of those, like the old ones, used to have the fucking box set to watch it. Like Sopranos, now you can go on HBO Max.
I want to, that's like, what I plan to.
That was a problem with some of those old good shows. You had to go find the DVDs or something, or like there wasn't a streaming platform who had Entourage or Sopranos on it before HBO Max, and now you can watch all that good shit on there. And it's like Netflix needs to figure something. Yeah, Netflix needs to figure out how to compete. Like I said, I think it'd be smart to start finding old shows, find the ones that people like got canceled too early, and finish them.
Yeah. Go ahead.
And if it's really good, make another season, but do it quickly. Like, what are you guys doing?
Anyway? I don't know why that's their biggest fucking L.
I don't understand why everything's so like it has to be here. Like The Boys is one of the like biggest shows and like it's like theatrical. Like what's happening? Like it's impressive how fast they get that shit through in like a year. Or they use is like. It's like less than a year and a half. It'll be like 14 months or something like that, or 13 months. Like that's usually what they do. But it's like it's impressive. Like y'all got to do that. Y'all have to match that, or it's like you kill your momentum. The Boys was 3 years,
and they still haven't. That's the wild part. Is like I get early on when everything came out, they're like, "Oh, I'm Netflix," but like, what are we doing now? Like everyone's dropped a fucking streaming platform. Everyone's dropping yearly. Like it's crazy. It's the we still every other platform stays to their standard show, which honestly we got shows in this moment, but only the standard show drop like every year, they in the same time, same season, whatever. And if they don't, like Amazon with Invincible, like why hasn't a new season come out yet? And like they did like a funny skit, like poking fun of themselves, but like they're being honest, like it just takes time doing all this shit.
Oh, it's COVID too. That was one thing where like COVID, it happened. It came out in the midst of COVID. Yeah. And like the animation studios are a little different.
And they also doing 2 and 3 season right now, or season 2 and 3. We got to shout out Seth Rogen too because he's a producer on Invincible, The Boys. What else? Fuck.
That's honestly why I started reading The Boys a long time ago. Well, long time ago, Seth Rogen mentioned that he was trying to get it made. That was one of his favorite comic books, and I went out and got it. My friend would have been telling me to read it too. But yeah, Seth Rogen was like, "Oh, I'm trying to get this show on HBO, for this comic book. I really like The Boys." And I went out and read it, and I was like, "No way, this should ever get made."
No. Amazon's got you. But yeah, like Showtime too. They're slowly picking up pace. Sean told about it, I totally forgot about it, but I want to watch it. I want to get a free trial just watching Your Honor. Yeah. I'm a big Bryan Cranston fan, as we know.
I've been hearing good things about
that. I haven't heard anything bad about it, but obviously they kind of did it right. They flopped it at the end with Dexter New Blood. But again, like they're kind of playing it smart. And then
tried.
Yeah, but I'm not trying to put them in the ranks. They're on the lower tier,
Dexter is that's one of them.
But they're on the lower tier of platforms in general. But I'm just saying, it's like, they're dropping quality content. It's like why doesn't Netflix, and when they do they do like limited series, like just make a fucking plan it for 4 seasons. I gotta stop swearing. Just drop 4 seasons of stuff, or have it planned for 4 seasons and just have it 4 years, and then bam, you have a hit show, and they'll be like, oh well, they just dropped this 4 years in a row. It's been quality, and then again, that's what it is. If they keep hearing it,
they need it now, like. So that's why Netflix was so good. You got the whole season that day.
Yeah.
And now it's like either y'all going to have to start making better content or you're going to have to get like everybody else, we're releasing episodes weekly to keep people coming back to your good shows. But I don't think they want to do that.
Or just do parts. That's okay. Yeah. They did that with Ozarks. That was fine.
Yeah.
It was annoying, but it was all right.
And it was like, it was only a couple weeks, right?
Yeah, it wasn't bad. Like, just do something like that. You could separate it. That's fine. I have no issue with that. Don't do like, oh, it's in the summer, then you have to wait till the winter. No, just do like a month. That's fine. I don't mind it because I forgot to tell you off camera. I'm pretty sure You is dropping tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, I think so,
March 9th, right?
Yeah.
I think so, or something. But it's within this week. I know that for sure. So, yeah, you'll see a part 2 episode on that. Obviously, when we discuss it. But, yeah, it just... They're Did she text you back?
No.
She's cheating.
No, she said no.
Damn it. Lies. She knows she did. She knows she did. But yeah, like I said earlier, guys, while the numbers are good, obviously Reddit, their numbers are pretty hard to beat. Generally speaking.
I don't know if that's the that's the numbers of the best stuff they do. That doesn't necessarily mean they're still doing good.
No. I agree. But like that's what's like getting their ego check is like that's why they keep milking Stranger Things.
Oh, we could just do this. Yeah, we feel like it.
And so, but in the long term, I think they're already falling. I think they're at second place right now at the moment. With HBO Max, there's cooking. Maybe even you can debate third. I don't know for Disney. I don't know. Well, I feel comfortable with Disney at third right now. They haven't dropped that many news.
Probably at 2 just because of their catalog and their access to the.
I guess consistency. Yeah.
And just like all the Marvel movies come out on there now.
Yeah.
Like,
so yeah, that's fair. Like that. Yeah. Like if Netflix dropped down that much, like that should be telling you something. And HBO Max like knows how to cook. Like just looking at it, like they keep
HBO always made the best originals.
Yeah. So. And like with even like their specials and stuff, I don't listen to the Weeknd, but like they have like a Weeknd live. They recorded one of his shows, and now they dropped that just recently. No. Like they're doing a bunch of great, like the Harry Potter anniversary thing, the Friends anniversary. They did that too, and like they're probably gonna do a Game of Thrones anniversary, guarantee it, and that's gonna be cooking. Like they're gonna do all these crazy things, and then they're just gonna keep winning.
Harry Potter one was good.
Yeah,
the Friends one was alright.
I watched the Friends. It was sad. Yeah. It was like sad. Just Chandler's like, no one called me. I'm like, stop. Anyways, we're not even reviewing on Friends. But yeah, so I don't know what to say. You can go.
I mean, I really don't have much to say. Like I said, we got into it. I really like Netflix. I'm still a subscriber, so I'm not getting rid of it. But there's just a lot of things they need to like fix. They used to be the top dog, and now they're just like slowly fading. I don't think they'll fall much farther than 3, just because I don't think Hulu ever cared. I think Hulu's more on like the live TV end.
Yeah,
they don't really care about the streaming stuff.
Yeah, they've always been consistent
that for like live TV. Yeah. So they just like I said every now and put something out. But Netflix, like I said, I would do what you did with Lucifer or Manifest or something like that, and find something like my guess Firefly. That guy is still alive. Trying to think of his name, but he's in a lot of stuff.
Troy Baker?
No. Nathan
Hawke?
Nathan something.
Nathan Statham?
No. It's going to eat me.
He was a munch. But yeah, no. Regarding Netflix, guys,
he's in Big Bang Theory a lot because they love. It's like Firefly's like a nerd show. They only got one season that everybody loved.
Nathan Drake.
Well, where's the cast list? Come on.
Nathan Newsby. I think it's Nathan Hawke.
Nathan Fillion.
That's what I said. But yeah, with Netflix, kind of off, differing from Sean's point of view, the second half, instead of like, that is a good idea, just reigniting or picking up shows that other franchises have dropped or networks have dropped. They need to, again, give quality. They need to give consistent quality and a variety. That is their biggest issue, in my opinion. Yeah. We both agree, the space in between with their money makers is ridiculous, and everyone's seeing right through it. Everyone is starting to see right through it, I would say. And again, the variety is not there for me. I like to have a good variety, so I'm like, I actually watch this, I watch it now, this and that. And the third, but yeah, it's kind of teetering off. Like my go-to now, it's Apple TV at the moment, but just because there's shows I'm watching. But in general, I'll just go to HBO Max now. Like if there's a show or for a movie or something like that, Netflix is my legit third option now. Like I'll go Apple TV just because I watched Shrinking. I did another show I watched on Shrink Next Door, and then I'm watching the morning show right now. And then if I don't feel like watching that, I'll go to HBO Max. And then I watch a movie or obviously Last of Us, something that's going on. But there's always something that's going on on HBO Max. There's always something to watch. Same thing with Netflix, but even then, it's kind of, I don't know. They've just been teetering off lately, and I do hope that we see some quality, because that's the thing is, like, out of all these streaming platforms, they have the most amount of, maybe Amazon's a little different, but for a pure TV basis, not including Amazon's, like, I know for a fact they have the most money overall.
Like, Netflix?
Yeah. Like, they can probably...
I don't know. Disney?
Oh, yeah. Let's just think about the pure... So all
like, for that, though, yeah. I guess. To, like, allocated to make, like, stuff on the stream platform, I would guess, yeah.
Yeah. Like, close. And they have the most pull, I think.
Amazon's probably not putting that much into the make TV show division.
No, they just... Yeah.
I agree in that sense. Probably not overall, because, like I said, Disney's owned by fucking Disney. And fucking
Marvel.
Amazon is owned by Jeff Bezos.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming the funds they allocate to making movies isn't nearly as much as Netflix is.
No, as I was saying, they have the pull too.
Business model.
Netflix is like CBS now. You know what I mean? Like, it's in that name, and like everyone knows it. So yeah, I do hope to see some good things. I mean, it's not gonna make or break me if Netflix just loses it. They're not gonna lose it, but
I mean, it's still kind of my go-to. I watch Peacock sometimes now too.
Peacock,
because there's like Office is on there and some other shows I like from USA.
Oh, But yeah, that's all I had to say.
I don't got much either.
Alrighty, guys, that is it for this episode. It's a little different episode, but like I said, we talked off camera. We want to start adding some variety to it because we were just kind of getting.
How much he loves variety.
Shut up. Okay, so we're just getting into a little lull of the same thing. So we do hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, just comment down below. Leave a like. Also, if you truly did enjoy it, subscribe.
Or if you didn't, you're still watching, might as well like
it. Yeah, might as well like it.
Dislike it. There's a dislike button. Whatever one. Either one helps us.
Just say racial slurs in the comments to Sean. That's fine. It's all right. We won't get demonetized because you guys said it. But yeah, other than that, follow us on TikTok and Instagram. Links are on the screen and down below. I'm Tom. This is Sean, and we'll see you guys next episode. Take care.